¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Welcome to my channel. Let me get my audio a little bit better here. Buenos dias. ¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Welcome to my channel. Please support your local food bank, drug and alcohol center. If you're new to my channel, soy pastor de la calle. I'm a Christian street pastor. I speak Spanish, and on my free time, I do social media videos. Now, I'm traveling right now, so I'm using a laptop. Everything is really small. I just get up. I'm at my mom's house in Colorado. I'm a Canadian, eh? I got the Canadian accent. Good morning. Let me know in the live chat if my audio is good. Good morning, Observation Station. Joan Whitfield, Jen, buenos dias. Good morning. All right, let's do this video. Now, I've been following this very closely. This is a Chris Reed video, and mounting evidence. Rick Joyner says evidence is mounting against Chris Reed, while Justin Perry challenges Morningstar. And I always forget, if you like my video, more people see my video. Now, I have been calling out Chris Reed and exposing his teachings and false prophecies for years. In fact, if you go on my social media, or on my YouTube, I have a playlist regarding some of the most, you have the internet false prophets, right? You got the grave suckers, the necromancers, the horoscope readers, the odometer readers. So you have the internet false prophets, and then you have the Bob Jones. The Bob Jones, Mike Bickle, Bob Jones, Todd Bentley, Rick Joyner, Chris Reed. You have the paradigm of the Bob Jones. The Bob Jones, zoom, flying to heaven, of course, and Rick Joyner just zoom, came back from heaven. Part of the theology is, of course, when Rick Joyner just got back from heaven, if you're new to this, they go into social media and they go into long detail about what they have seen and heard as they visited heaven multiple times. So you have the internet false prophets, and then you have Morningstar. And that's what we're looking at today. In fact, in this video, we have some clips already done up regarding, this is Rick Joyner. Let's just get in this video. Listen to the clips first, and then we'll read the article. And we're going to actually listen to a little bit of this video too. So let's do this. Let's go like this. Now, I don't know if the audio is okay. Let me get my comments. Let me know if you can hear the audio.
Here we are. Now all this stuff comes out, and I go back and I think, well, wait a minute. This lady affirmed to us as strongly as I could imagine there was nothing physical in this relationship. She and Chris both affirmed that. The mother affirmed it. She didn't think anything had happened. We had to take their word that they cut it off, drawn a line, nothing physical had happened. Well, now I can say with a lot of confidence that's not true. Neither one of them were telling us the truth then. Okay. It appears, and I say there's a lot of evidence, and it's mounting that yes, there was physical stuff that happened. Maybe not intercourse, maybe it was not sex like one of our former presidents defined it. He did not have sex with this one. I say he did. That's me.
All right, so if you're new to what exactly is happening, this might be a little out of context. Chris Reed, of course, got together. He's married. He's got a beautiful family and kids. Chris Reed got together with a student inside of Morningstar, gave her money, was meeting her in their vehicles in his van. Now it's come out that they were horrible text messages in the sexual nature as well as kissing. That's what's come out. And of course, Chris Reed preached on Sunday, and then something happened, and he is now departed Morningstar, and that's what we're looking at today. So keep going. I'm going to read this article. This is, all right?
I would say that's sex, but you know what I'm saying? Read between the lines or interpret some of this. And I think stuff happened. That's where I am now. And all I can say is the evidence is mounting. And I don't know where it's going to lead, but we're going to not cover up anything. And because some things were said that they weren't, now we think we've got to tell the truth about it. We cannot cover up the truth, okay? and we want to find the truth. But, you know, evidence, something can be submitted as evidence in court, and it passes the test to be submitted as evidence, but that doesn't mean it's true either. It means it passed the test enough to be submitted as evidence, but the trial is going to have to find out whether it's true or not. Okay, so I'm saying we're in the process now. The evidence is mounting. We were lied to. And I would have never turned this ministry over to them if I had known what I know right now. I would have never, there's a lot of things I wouldn't have done. I was believing they were being honest and straightforward with us. They were not. That's what it looks like. And I will in some way convey to you that whatever we find out as much as necessary. I don't believe in getting into the details. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to slime people. But anyway, I feel like things were done that should have disqualified Chris from being made the leader of this ministry. I would that I had the discernment. I didn't discern these things. I asked the Lord, because sometimes, you know, things look one way and I understand they're another. And I did ask the Lord, you have to make manifest the truth in this, or any deception or whatever. And I trusted the Lord to do it. Guess what he did? I just didn't ask him to do it then.
Now, there's a lot of people that say that what Rick is doing right now is called damage control, because it's now come out that Rick was part, and the board of directors, we're going to look in the article, that when Chris Reed used his prophecy weapon against this lady as a prophet, the student, forgive me, she's a younger lady, we're praying for her and her family on my channel, Catherine, they got caught. And of course, they went through the process of restoration so he could be in the power of authority and leadership of the CEO of Morningstar. They all knew this before this all took place. Now he's pushing the narrative that as bad as it all that they got involved with the sexting and so forth, now what he's saying is that they didn't know the full truth. That's the idea that he's pushing right now. Now, let's read. This video here contradicts much of this. This is Justin Berry. I watched this video, a very interesting video. We'll watch this in a second. This is the Morningstar. Okay, they have a few clips. I want to spend more time listening to this guy, because he was involved right from the beginning. He left Morningstar when Chris Reed took over the position of power and authority as the CEO of Morningstar. And many people would say that he's just doing damage control right now. All right. Now, here's the article. Rick Joyner says evidence is mounting against Chris Reed. Morningstar Ministry President Rick Joyner says the evidence is mounting that the South Carolina Prophetic Ministry former president Chris Reed engaged in physical sexual misconduct in a statement to the ministry congregation Sunday. That's the video, all right? There's a lot of evidence and it's mounting. Yes, there was physical stuff that happened, Rick Joyner says. Evidence is mounting and I don't know what's going to lead, but we're not going to cover anything up. Many people would say that that's exactly what they did. Joyner also admitted Sunday that he allowed Reed to be acting president of Morningstar during a restoration. They did the same thing to Todd Bentley. Many people are speculating they're doing the same thing with Mike Bickle. They did the same thing with Bob Jones. This is a prophet, the Kansas City Prophets and the Bob Jones followers. Process for Reed's 2021 misconduct with adult student. Also on Saturday, Justin Perry, a former Morningstar pastor and leader, said in a public statement, we're going to look at that video, that Reed became acting Morningstar president just a couple months. So there's two different sides of the story here. There's like three different sides. There's Catherine, which I believe she's telling the truth, and her family, because they had the evidence of the sexting, texting, and the rest of it. Then we have the Rick Joyner's reality that he's pushing, his narrative, and then we have Chris Reed. So this guy here is a video we're looking at, gives us a different perspective. Saturday, Justin Perry, a former Morningstar pastor leader, said in a public statement that Reed became acting Morningstar president just a few months after Morningstar board leader learned of Reed's misconduct. Did you catch that? He's saying a couple of months. So maybe 50, 60 days, 70 days after they found out. Perry said that why he resigned from Morningstar in 2022 after 20 years of involvement from the ministry. Perry added that the board also decided not to inform the public, all right, about Reed's misconduct. Joyner made national headlines in 21 for prophesying civil war in the United States in 2020 election. A few months later, Reed used prophecy to pursue, here it is here, the prophecy weapon. Mike Bickle absolutely used prophecy weapons against young ladies. And also, this is actually quite shocking, but inside of the Kansas City Bob Jones network, there's been lots of this. A few months later, for an example, what was his name? The other guy. Forgive me, I did a video about that. Mike Bickle's buddy. I'll look at it in a second. A few months later, Reed used prophecy to pursue an inappropriate relationship with Catherine, a student of the ministry, the Roy's report reported last week. Catherine also told TR that Reed sent her vulgar sexual texts, kissing her and also touching her genitals. So we're praying for Catherine on my channel and her family. Catherine said that she reported all but the sexual touching to Morningstar leaders in 2022. At the same time, Joyner, who found Morningstar, was training Reed to replace him in the ministry president. Joyner said Sunday that he was fooled, lied to, and betrayed by Reed in 2022 about the nature of the relationship Reed and with Catherine. Joyner told TR last week that he and some Morningstar board members saw Reed sexually explicit texts to Catherine, but Joyner said last week that both Reed and Catherine had told leaders only physical contact Reed had with Catherine when Catherine was kissing him on the cheek. As a result, the board chose to put Reed through a restoration process before becoming president, Joyner said. I didn't discern these things, Joyner said Sunday. I did ask the Lord to make manifest the truth. And remember, he just got back from heaven, flying to heaven. He says that he went into heaven. He went up to heaven. And of course, this is the conversation. Went something like this. Rick Joyner went to heaven, went into the throne room. He says, how you doing, Jesus? Jesus says, how you doing, Rick? Thanks for coming to heaven. He says, let me tell you something, Rick. You've been in my will about 20% of the time. But don't worry, Rick. This is Jesus speaking. This is a conversation. Don't worry, Rick. You're better than everybody else. Because most people are not in my will, even less than that. So you got to go back to Morningstar. You're preaching on Sunday, Rick. Yeah, I know, Jesus. I got to go back to... So, Rick, why don't you fly down to heaven, or fly out of heaven back into your church and go on social media and tell everybody this absolute nonsense story in my name? It's blasphemous heresy, right? Jesus didn't say any of this. He doesn't fly to heaven. But this is we've gone full-blown Christian cult at this point, all right? Like, you're right out of the Orthodox Christianity when you're claiming you're flying to heaven. I didn't discern these things, Joyner said Sunday. I did ask the Lord to make manifest the truth in this or any other deception, or whether I had trusted the Lord to do it. Then I forgot to say, do it now. So and that's how it is that inside the paradigm of the Bob Jones followers, they have their spiritual ideas and then they have reality. So when their spiritual prophecies or interpretations don't line up with reality, they just change the realities. That's what he's doing. So let's see, I forgot to say, so like he forgot to tell God, do it now. Ha ha ha. Like somehow in this guy's imagination, he's telling God to do it. And remember, in this paradigm, the Morningstar is that they are a Goshen. And after the Babylonian system falls in Revelation 17, 18, and 19, we have the beast, harlot, Babylonian system sitting on 7 mountains. Let the reader understand a mind of wisdom. The Babylonian system will fall. And of course, they're claiming that they are going to be a Goshen with the greatest wealth transfer in the history of the human race. All the money on earth will be stewarded for kingdom business and kingdom works and kingdom ventures in a Goshen after the Babylonian system falls inside of Goshen. Did a video about that. Joyner said Sunday that in the last few days he's been investigating the allegations of physical sexual misconduct against Reed. Joyner said he believes Reed's alleged physical contact with Catherine would have disqualified Reed as leader. I would have never, but by the way, he knew about the sexual texting and the messages, what I understand, because they showed the sexual nature. She was a Chris Reed's a married man. I felt like these were done. I felt these things were done. I have dyslexia too, all right? Disqualified Chris from being made the leader of the ministry. Reed did not respond to TR. Okay, so that's interesting. Reed did not respond to TR request for comment about Joyner's and Perry's statements. New timeline of Reed's presidents revealed. Perry said in his public statement, I have like 75 people watching right now. Hello from Canada. I'm visiting. If you like my video, more people see my videos. Thanks for everyone who's watching live. I'll answer questions at the end, all right? Good morning. Perry said in his public statement Saturday that Catherine and her mom told Perry and Morningstar director Pastor Tom Artemin in February 2022 the inappropriate relationship Reed had with her. Tom and I were devastated. Perry said, I was physically ill. No kidding. It was definitely one of, if not the most disturbing moments, sick in my life. I was heartbroken over Catherine. So we got to hold her in tender loving care, Catherine. I also think about the potential impact to the rest of the students, all right? Let's read a little bit more and then we'll listen to this clip. Perry said he and Hardiman immediately told Joyner, who said, see, look at this. On the word and testimony of this guy, Hardiman immediately told Joyner. Joyner's been behind this whole fiasco. Who said that they shouldn't sweep anything under the rug, but rather they should pray to see what God wanted to do. A week later, Joyner, Hardiman, and Perry decided to bring the matter to the board, and the board decided to do what to do. The board came up with the restoration plan that would be made public. Perry said, here's the video.
Chris had been at Morningstar for...
Make sure in the comments, I'm going to look at the comments if you can hear the audio. I'm using my laptop.
For, I think, a period of maybe 3 months or so, whenever the events began that were written about in the article. The inappropriate relationship with the student named Catherine. And this didn't come to my attention until around 4 months later. I think it was in late February of 2022. I was in a meeting with Catherine and her mother and Tom Hardiman. And we were meeting with Catherine about marijuana that was found in her room, in her vehicle, if I remember correctly, to basically decide if she was going to be able to remain in the school and see what happened, where she was at. And it was in that meeting that it came out that she had been involved in this inappropriate relationship with Chris. Of course, Tom and I were devastated. I was physically ill. It was definitely one of, if not the most disturbing moment of my life. I was heartbroken not only for Catherine, which I expressed to her and her mother and just told them that we would do whatever we could to help her find restoration and help her find next steps. At that point, the relationship, I think, had ended already by a couple months. And I was also thinking about the potential impact on the rest of the students. You know, finding something like this out about a leader would have hurt them immensely. And so, of course, as soon as this meeting was over, we called Rick Joyner, let him know what happened. He told Tom and I to call Chris, which we did. And Chris admitted to everything that Catherine had shared to us. He did say, you know, this was a terrible mistake. It was stupid and I never should have done this. And then we began a series of meetings with Catherine and her mom, as well as with Chris, and then later with Chris and his wife, to talk through where do we go from here? What is the appropriate response? We did offer to Catherine to pay for counseling and let her know whatever we could do to help. We wanted to do that. We, of course, did not ask her to leave or anything like that. We just said, what do you feel you need to do and how can we support you in that? But needless to say, it was a very difficult and very heartbreaking situation. I can also say that at that time, Rick Joyner was saying to Tom and I, we are going to do what the Lord shows us to do in this matter. We're not going to hide anything or sweep anything under the rug. We're going to do exactly what we feel the Lord is giving us to do. So we prayed fervently about this for around a week, and we made a decision to present everything that had happened and all of the details to the Morningstar board and basically let them decide what was the path forward, including the plan for Chris's transition as the president of Morningstar. And so that's what happened. Chris had...
So, let me see here. So this guy, this married man, gets involved with one of the students, sending her sexual texting, so on and so forth. And they formulated a plan of restoration so that he could take over the position of power of the CEO of Morningstar. And all right, let's keep going. From what I understand, the discussion was that this relationship had ended months before, and the ownership of the part of Chris, and there seemed to be genuine respect, Perry said, so that the decision was made rather than go public with it immediately to deal with it behind the scenes. Morningstar. Joyner praised the Morningstar board thoroughness in the statement Sunday, but Joyner told TR last week that the board only interviewed Reed and his wife, Missy, but not Catherine. We've got one of the strongest boards of any organizations that I know of people who are on the world-class level of many fields. Joyner stated Sunday, we've seen most everything. Can you see this? They're not going to shove anything under the rug. They're going not to examine everything. Peter Perry, who was involved in Reed's restoration plan, said on Sunday that the ministry allowed Reed to become acting president only a couple of months after learning of Reed's misconduct. The agreement made it difficult for Perry and the Hardiman to hold their new boss accountable, Perry said, so that's why Perry resigned. We were now, Tom and I, under Chris' leadership, and that made it very difficult to address the things that we were concerned to moving forward, like potentially other students. Right? Peter said, I knew it was going to be a time for my family and I to leave. So he ended up leaving. Here's the clip.
The time I thought, this has been brought...
Just make double check. This is a second clip. Yes, this is a second clip. All right. This is a second clip.
Before leaders, from what I understand, the discussion was had that this relationship had ended months before, and there was ownership on the part of Chris, and there seemed to be genuine repentance. And so that was why the decision was made, rather than to go public immediately, to deal with it behind the scenes in order to care for Chris's family and see if we could handle this as best as possible in that way. It seemed to me that this was a plan that I could agree to and that could potentially work. And my understanding was that Tom and I would be able to oversee and give feedback and give counsel as to what are we supposed to do as we move forward. And so it seemed like a plan that I could agree with. It was a matter of, by my recollection, only a couple months, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months at most. I don't think it was that long. I haven't been able to verify the dates, but within a couple months for sure, there was a public announcement made that Chris was going to become the acting president of Morningstar. And our staff was told, don't go to Rick for anything. Everything goes through Chris. And only if it's not able to be solved or resolved with Chris, does it go to Rick. And so essentially, before the process even began, we were now, Tom and I were under Chris's leadership. And that made it very difficult to address the things that were a concern to me moving forward. And I did make a number of efforts to address things that I was concerned with over about the next 6 months. And that's just a fact. I will say that by this time, so now we're into maybe the summer of 2022, maybe headed towards the fall of 2022 would be more accurate, because a new school year had begun and things had gotten increasingly difficult in my role. There were decisions that were being made about the ministries that I was leading, and I was not involved in these decisions or these things that were being implemented in, although I was going to be responsible for making them work. And there did come a time whenever both it became difficult, and I would say in some instances impossible, for me to succeed in the roles that I had. And it became evident, certainly by the fall of 2022, that I had no ability at all to address the things that I was concerned with regarding the transition of Chris and the timeline and things like that. And I knew that it was going to be time for my family and I to leave. So we began asking the Lord, when can we leave? I would say really ever since the incident was revealed, we began praying, Lord, are we free to leave?
All right. So you heard him saying that it's just such a small amount of time when they discovered the sexual message between Chris Reed, the married man of family, involved with the younger student inside of Morningstar's school. They take it to the board, and within months, he's saying, Chris Reed is put into a position of authority and power, control over the whole entire ministry. He's supposed to be doing the quote-unquote restoration. And of course, he's like, yeah, I can't deal with this. And then he did, what I understand and what I heard him say, he had concerns about other things. And we pray that, my prayer is that the full truth will come to light, because there's a lot of horrendously evil things coming out of Morningstar. We judge the fruit of their ministry. Perry didn't respond to multiple attempts at TRR for the further comments on what he was concerned about the restoration, whether Perry knew of the allegation. Perry knew of the allegation, a physical aspect of Reed's misconduct. Perry also said in the statement Saturday that TR had not contacted him for comment in TR previous reporting that mentioned Perry's role. However, last Wednesday, TR had attempted to contact him through Facebook. So, if you want to see this, so they're just saying that they contacted him. I'm a journalist with the Oroy's Report. I've come to questions about you. So they're just showing that on Facebook, Julie Roy's reached out to him. Perry also said in his statement Saturday that TR already did that. However, last Wednesday, TR attempted to Facebook already did that, and I just saw the message. TR also called his current employee and left a message for Perry and his female employees. The timeline of Reed's acting president apparently contradicts what Reed said in a public statement last week. Reed claims that he became president of Morningstar 15 months after ministry. So nobody's telling the truth in this. They're all telling different stories. So that was put on hold. I think it was 15 months later, and I finally assumed the president after it came open. Reed said. Joyner also didn't mention Reed's acting president happened in the same time of Reed's restoration process last week in TRR. Asked for the details. Rather, Joyner said that the restoration process needed to happen to determine if Reed could become president. So this guy is saying it happened within months. This guy's doing, many people would say, damage control. And this guy is totally, absolutely like I said, you have internet false prophets, and then you have the Bob Jones paradigm. William Brandon, Bob Jones, Mike Bickle, Todd Bentley, Stacey Campbell, hyper extreme internet false prophets. Joyner explains Sunday that Reed, and if you're new to this, I have a whole playlist with their false teachings, their false prophets. Joyner explains Sunday that Reed was made acting president as part of the restoration process to see Reed would have behave. So he put this guy out. He already went after one student. Let's see how he does with the position of power and authority of the CEO. Let's see how he will behave. So if he does cheat on his wife again, right? That's what we're talking about. He's got a beautiful family, beautiful wife. Went after a student. So we're going to see. They restored him back into the position of the CEO and the overseer of the Morningstar. Let's see how he behaves. I honestly wanted to see how he's going to behave, and he gets the authority. It's just heartbreaking. It's sick. If he's going to do another stupid thing like this, Joyner said he has seen tremendous results in other situations where leaders have fallen and put back into ministry during the restoration phase. If you don't know what he's talking about, Todd Bentley, of course, left his wife to marry Jess, so they have a beautiful family. But now Todd Bentley has been disqualified from ministry for a long history of a train wreck of impropriety and rotten fruit, particularly against intern staff, sexting. Now Rick Joyner saying Todd Bentley is back into ministry. 2024, literally saying Todd Bentley is back into ministry. So this is what the tremendous results, possibly what he's referring to. I've seen people put in ministry as part of their restoration process. True ministry, which is sacrifice, taking up your cross. That's a reference to Matthew 16:24. Jesus said, anyone come after me, he must pick up his cross, deny himself, pick up his cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it. But if you lose your life for me, you will find it. This is Matthew 16:24. What would it profit a man to gain the whole world yet forfeit his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? The Son of Man will come in his Father's glory and then reward each person according to what he has done. That's what he's referring to. Learning to serve others, Joyner said, as it helps. And it really helps them to get through that. And they've seen tremendous results in the restoration process by doing that at times. And I'm all about restoration, of course. But if you have a predatory babysitter, you don't restore them into a position of watching over your children. Same with the Boy Scouts or a doctor or a police officer. When you get involved in using your position of authority against women or men, it disqualifies you from ever being in that position again. But there's restoration. Now in the clergy, of course, when you're the apostolic overseer or the prophet, going after interns or whatever you're doing, disqualifies you for a position of authority inside the church. But restoration, forgiveness of sins, I don't wish hell on anybody. Forgiveness of sins, now is the day of salvation. That would be my greatest hope for Rick Joyner or Chris Reed or any of the false internet prophets. If God grants them repentance, repent of their blasphemous false prophecies. But in regards to ministry, specifically when we're talking about misconduct with women, married men, within months, he's put into position of power. All right, let's listen to this.
Because we believe in Galatians 6:1.
Galatians 6:1, Rick Joyner's using for Mike Bickle. If you're unaware, Mike Bickle used his prophecy weapons against minors, young women. And this year, 2024, he's referring to Galatians 6:1 in restoration of Mike Bickle. But when he says restoration and I say restoration, it's night and day. I hope restoration for Mike Bickle and Chris Reed and everybody that is caught in sin. That's what we serve, a God of restoration and forgiveness of sins. But a position of apostolic authority in the church, you disqualify yourself when you use prophecy weapons against women and minors. You'll never be in that position of power ever again. You're disqualified. Period. But he's using Galatians 6:1, is taking these creeps and putting them back into a position of power. It's exactly what he's doing. It's exactly what he's doing. There's a spiritual blindness over Rick Joyner's eyes. There's scales on his eyes. And not only is it damaging what he did with the advocates, all right, but re-victimizing women and victims when they get it preyed upon by the prophecy weapons of a false internet prophet, and then get Rick Joyner restore him into another position of power. It's a re-victimization, all right? So let's listen to what this guy says, all right? It's only 2 minutes.
Where it says, brethren, even if anyone is caught in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, each one look into yourself, so that you too will not be tempted. Now, this includes the words anyone, which includes anyone, and, caught in any trespass.
So any trespass? Is that what Galatians 6:1 is talking about? How about murder, right? Murdering psychopaths in the church. Right? We restore them back into a position of power inside of the church. It's ludicrous. Right? How about a predatory sexual predator preying on children? You put them inside of the children's nursery once you restored? It's ludicrous. All right? So here's Galatians 6:1. Well, we'll finish this off and we'll read Galatians 6:1. This man has no concept or understanding how to read his Bible in context. We'll look at Galatians 6:1. Is this talking about married men caught in adulterous affairs on their wives, giving students their money and putting them in a position of authority over a whole entire school and ministry?
Get them back, restore them, and that means more than forgive them. It means get them back from where they fell. But, he was being prepared to take over the leadership of the ministry and all. Well, all that was put on hold during this process. And after a little time, we made him acting president, acting CEO, because that was part of the process. And I honestly wanted to see how he's going to behave when he gets authority. Is he going to do another stupid thing like this? But that was part of the process. Some people have a concept of ministry that if you put someone in ministry, that you're exalting them, you're lifting them up. True New Testament biblical ministry is the opposite. It's the opposite. And I believe I've seen people put in ministry as a part of their restoration process. True ministry, which is sacrifice, taking up your cross, learning to serve others, it really helps them to get through that. And we've seen tremendous results in a restoration process.
And that's where it's at, is that, the thought is that taking somebody that has caught a sexual misconduct against his wife, giving an intern or student money, in order to restore that person into a position of authority inside of the church, put him into that restoration position of power, and like Rick says, let's see how he responds. We'll give him some power. A tremendous result. Rick Joyner's like, we see this guy cheating on his wife. All right? Picks up one of the students, sends her sexual messages. She's meeting in the van. And we're going to put him back. The part of the restoration process, of course, let's put him into a position of power, see how he handles with the other women inside the school. That's the idea. Because the whole concept is that Rick Joyner wants to get this guy, into the position of authority in Morningstar. So we'll see how he does. We'll give him, honestly, I just wanted to see how he's going to behave when he gets authority. So not only was he already in a position of authority in Morningstar when he did this, now he gave him the whole entire ministry. Let's see how he does. We'll give him a private office. Have the students go into his office. We'll find out. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's what the idea is. I honestly wanted to see how it's going to behave when he gets the authority. Joyner says, is he going to do another stupid thing like this? There's a thought to the woman Catherine that he used He's apparently the King David. So yeah, put him in the position of authority. Let's see how he does. And of course, this guy over here is saying, yeah, I couldn't work under these conditions, because within months of him getting into authority, all of a sudden Chris Reed became the boss, so he left the place. The whole thing is beyond any resemblance of ludicrousness. But, when you're dealing with guys claiming that they're flying to heaven, and the tidal wave of false internet prophecies and teachings, the reproach, the mockery, the disgrace that Morningstar Ministries has brought into the church, in regards to Mike Bickle, Bob Jones, Todd Bentley, Chris Reed, and in the wake of the harmed women that have been involved with this, it's like the old men's club. Let's get him back in. Let's give him some power, eh? Let's give him some power. Put him in it. We'll see how he does. Give him an office. We'll see. He's already done it once. Give him a few month restoration. We'll throw him in a position of a power. See how he responds. All right. So we'll look at Galatians 6:1 in a second. Let me just finish this article here. I've seen put people in. Oh yeah, here he is. A shepherd lay down his life for the sheep. And certainly the regard for, I don't feel like this was a regard for our board. Joyner said, we had entrusted a lot to him and don't think it's just quite like that if we were able to need to know anyone who'd notice. Joyner said that he thought something wasn't right with Reed's sudden resignation and thought something else was behind this. Now I can say with confidence, there was, Joyner says. On Sunday, Joyner also likened the betrayal of human leaders to Jesus' disciples. On Sunday, Joyner likened the betrayal of human leaders to Jesus' disciples. Betrayal of Jesus, who then become church leaders. So people should trust the Holy Spirit, not fully trust people. Joyner said as they shouldn't condemn leaders who fall. Joyner said. And according to Mike Joyner, when a leader falls, give him some restoration and then put him in a private office with a bunch of authority and see how they respond, if they'll do it again. We need the Holy Spirit to lead us, Joyner said. We are not going to condemn people. It's not going to our heart. The Lord, and we saw that was wrong with the world. We didn't condemn it. He laid down his life for it. I like this Rebecca Hobskins. She's out of Colorado, eh? Did you see this? I'm in Colorado right now visiting my mom. I'm a Canadian, eh? All right. Galatians 6:1. I'll answer questions at the end. I have over 100 questions or 100 comments. So this is 1 second, eh? 1 second. Good morning, eh? This is Galatians 6:1 ESV. Is this talking about the leadership role in a church when a man cheats on his wife and uses prophecy weapons and giving monies to interns or students? No, this is talking about brothers if anyone is caught in any trespass. So we can use this for the janitors, the school teachers, the moms and the dads, the volunteers, the greeters, because it says if anyone is caught. We can also use this for the pastors, right? We can also use this for the pastors. If anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Praise the Lord. That's what when I do exposure videos, we're looking at the most heinous, evil men on the internet using their power and influence. In the case of Mike Bickle, Todd Bentley, Chris Reed, and many others that, but there's the bride of Christ is fine. The church is fine, right? We're exposing internet false prophets on my channel. So the Bible teaches us, if anyone is caught in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore him with a spirit of gentleness. Praise the Lord. Keep watch over yourself, lest you may be tempted. Bear each other's burdens. In this way we fulfill the law of Christ. For if anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let each one test his own work, and then His reason to boast will be in himself alone and not in his neighbor, for each one will have to bear his own load. Thank you for watching. God bless you guys. I'll keep you up to date. I am traveling right now. I'm in Colorado, Colorado. I'm in Grand Junction, Colorado. And I'm traveling down to a place in Santa Fe. I'll answer questions. If you have a question, let me know. Thanks for everyone who's showing up. Thank you to my friends for liking my... Oh, I should probably do this. If you'd like to support my ministry outreach, I always encourage people to support their local food banks, drug and alcohol center. If you're new to my channel, I am a Christian street pastor, outreach worker. In fact, all this week, Monday I was at a Bible study. I was translating. There's a lot of people flying through the United States border. Her son and her, forgive me, it was an older lady and her son. They don't speak English. And I was at a Bible study. I was able to translate for the mom because I speak fluent Spanish. This is my street ministry outreach. And if you'd like to support my ministry outreach, I have a place on my website that you can come here and get involved. Right here, you just click that button. So thank you to my friends who are supporting my ministry outreach, and I love you. If you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, I have a newsletter, and anybody can hit the like button. So that was on Monday. I went to the Bible study, I did some translation. Last night I did some food at the local homeless shelter. So I'm doing outreach all week as well, preaching the gospel, praying for people. Today, in fact, in 1 hour, I'm going to another homeless center in the Rating Ground Junction downtown. Apparently I've never been there, but it's got a lot more action, and I like the action. And I say action, there's a lot more open drug use there, so I'm going there today. And then tomorrow I'm headed to a location. Let me look it up here, then I'll go to my comment section. If you want to know where I'm going, good morning to my friends that are watching me right now. I'm going to sorry, where is this place? I'm visiting from Canada. I've never been to this part of the States, but I'm going to... It's on this corner of Santa Fe, or it's Silver Campus. I don't know. What is this place? So it's on the tip of Durango or something. It's very close to Santa Fe, but it's still in Colorado. So I don't know if you can see this. There it is there. So that's pretty funny. This is where I'm at right now. I'm in the United States, in the middle of the United States. So I'm visiting my family. She has an operation. She's going to be fine, but I'm going to be with her. We're going down closer to Denver. So I'll be doing street outreach. So let's go to the comments. I got 126 comments. Oh, okay. There's my friend JLo. Not censoring, just keep things non-contentious. Yes, my moderators are in my background. Observation station, because you're number 3 being... Okay, so something's going on. We got some controversy in the comments section. Let me take this off the screen. 1 second here. Good morning, eh? Blessings, Matthew. That's my friend Joan Wakefield. Ryan's on thin ice. Good morning, Ryan. God bless you. Thank you to my moderators that are moderating my comment section. I love you. God bless you. I need Zoom. God bless you, Ryan. Reed is still desperately avoiding the fact that he was pastoring Morningstar Church during the CSA years. Reed says he didn't know anything because he didn't become CEO until 2023 when he is pastor. You're right, Jen. Reed has... I believe that there will be more information coming up. So if you can subscribe, hit the subscribe. I'll do updates. I personally, if you were to ask me personally, I believe there's something else going on. Just because every time more information comes out, we might as well do that. Because I've been following this very closely. Remember, on my channel, on my free time, I expose internet false prophets. So Let me just do this for a second. 1 second here. I'm going to show you something. Let me take this off the screen. So, the great comment, Jen. I'm in my mom's house, if you're wondering where I am right now. I'm in my mom's house. I love my mom. Great Christian lady. She volunteers 4 days a week in the shelters. Here it is here. So, just for full disclosure, this is my YouTube. And this, do you see this right here? Someone says, you haven't talked about Rick Joyner and the Knights of Malta. Yes, I've done a whole entire playlist. This is the playlist. Morningstar, the ecumenical movement with the Jesuit priest Pope Francis. And I've been following this all the way from the beginning. So I have a whole bunch of videos on this playlist regarding Chris Reed and Morningstar Ministries. I've been studying their theology for years and the Bob Jones followers. But all the way back here, this is the first one, 5 days ago. Morningstar leader Chris Reed resigns. I said in this video, something's not adding up, because what Chris, all of a sudden, he was preaching on Sunday and done. And then I was like, okay, so I went back and I listened to his sermon on Sunday. There was no indication that he was resigning. And then it came out in, was it this video or this video? No, it was actually the latest video that I'm doing right now. When he went on, he says, it took everybody out of, surprised by everybody. Everyone was like, nobody knew. He gave no notice, no 2 weeks notice. He just done. Something happened. So he did this rush letter, this resignation letter, which none of the times line up. And then the flood of information came out that he was involved with this student. And then he went onto social media further, claiming that he was under attack and circumvention, and that he's pushing his prophecy schools to this date, brings his wife on. We're praying for his wife and family. Like I said, he's got a great family. He should get a hard construction job. Go work. He's a young guy. He's got lots of talents and abilities. Go work with his hands, right? Go build a house. Get involved with hard labor. Get out of the false prophecy business of ciphering through. Well, that was one of my last videos, was ciphering. Literally, I just did a video 2 weeks ago regarding the. This is such a bizarre prophecy. He's with this guy, but he ciphered through an earthquake inside of Washington. Said it was once in 100 years or some crazy thing. Happens. None of his information is even remotely close. So he ciphered an earthquake through the lunar eclipse, ciphered through one of his dreams for the rebirth of America. And I went through this prophecy and we put it on the Bible on the screen. So this was just a few weeks ago. And then, of course, so like full disclosure, I've been calling him a false prophet and exposing him as a false prophet for many years. And then, of course, I did a few more videos, and then bang, he comes out right here. This all broke 5 days ago. And I'll keep updates. So that was a great comment, Jen, that there's more going on, of course. I believe there's a lot more going on. And when more information comes out, we'll keep everybody in prayer on my channel, and we'll tell it to the church. That's what we're doing right now. And I've been monitoring it as well. Chris Reed's Facebook. People are still commenting, we believe in you, Chris. We want you back. We're going to still do the school. So there's people still in Chris Reed camp that are supporting him. And my intention is to bring some clarity to it, to present all sides of it, read what they're saying, and then show the Bible. Chris Reed. All right, so there it is there. Thanks, J-Lo and Ray. Good morning, Karen. God bless you. God bless you. Stay strong. And another high. Family is growing. God bless you. Stay strong. God bless you. This is John Wickfield, my friend. Stephen, which is worse, the awful accusations of some of the leaders of whom would obviously salivate over BC, they have no content. Which is worse, awful? Not sure what that means. God bless you, Stephen. Oh, my friend Jew and Greek's in the house. God bless you. Are you going to be in Grand Junction doing outreach today or moving on to Durango? Oh, Durango. That's where I'm going, Anthony. So I am. I'm going to be in Grand Junctions today. We're going to, we're giving out, we're giving food inside of one of the, specialty food. My mom baked some stuff. So we're going to give some food out in one of the local homeless shelters today, actually at 9:30. Oh, I have to go. I got to leave in 20 minutes here. So I'm going to a homeless shelter this morning. Good morning, Joe in Greek. Hola, hermano. ¿Qué tal? Que Dios te bendiga. All right. Good morning, J-Lo and Ray. God bless you guys. Good morning, Observation Station. Ah, Nikki, God bless you on Facebook. Thank you very much, Nikki. God bless you. Thanks for showing up. Nikki says safe travels. 1 Timothy 3:2, a leader must be above reproach. Great comment, Michelle. I was actually going to read 1 Timothy as well. This is an interesting comment. Good morning, Dabi. God bless you, my friend. If you put someone in ministry, God does the calling and the anointing, not man. Stop preaching yourself above God. There's no audio? Oh boy. Oh, there was no audio on one of my videos. Sorry about that. Jen, Reed is still desperately avoiding the facts. So I had no audio on one of my videos. I'm trying to get better. I'm doing a streaming service. Sorry about that. Reed is still desperately avoiding the fact that he was pastoring Morningstar Church. Oh, I already did this one. All right, I'm done the video. If you have a comment, put it in the comment section right now, or a question. Yeah, sorry, Mark. I'm on a laptop. My audio wasn't great. I'm just seeing this now. No audio, no volume. Sorry, guys. Well, praise the Lord. Thanks for sticking around anyways. DB says the pattern is always the same. Save the ministry. Excuse the sin and claim restoration. It's about the money. Save the flow of donations. Blood Bright Ministry, my friend from South Africa. Wonder how Todd Bentley's beard oil business is going. Must be highly anointed beard oil carrying the glory. Rick Joyner is being exposed big time. I agree. Joan Wickfield. I agree. Rick Joyner is exposing himself. The exposure, full disclosure, and, we're praying for everyone at Morningstar, people that are caught up in this religious movement of the Bob Jones followers. It's a whole entire mountain of theology, false theology. Sadly, many people believe, literally, as if this is a cup of coffee, there are people that believe that Rick Joyner has flown to heaven multiple times. There are people that believe that he's flown literally into the third heaven and walked into the throne room with a face-to-face with Jesus. There are people that believe that. I know it's shocking, and that's why I have my channel. We bring some clarity to it. And this is an interesting comment. I grew up in the USA, New York City. Would you consider moving to the USA? Well, it's an interesting thing. I have a burden for the United States. Most of my viewers are in the United States. I love the United States. I love the people of the United States. It's been quite the experience so far driving here from Vancouver. And I love the States. The people are awesome. They're actually being extremely friendly. But remember, I do my street evangelism in cities, inner cities. And that's the other thing is that my experience so far, I haven't seen anything close to the situation that I deal with on a daily basis. I'm dealing with people, I don't know if people can appreciate, like hardcore drug addicts. So I know it's here in the States, I just haven't seen it yet. But here in Colorado, I haven't seen anything even close to what I deal with on a daily basis on the streets where I live. Because in Canada, it's legal. So it's legal to possess drugs, openly use drugs. And in many situations, there's drugs everywhere. There's people on our bus stops smoking crack, shooting drugs. Like there's, in my area on Vancouver Island, it's an absolute crisis, disaster zone. And I am aware that there are places in the United States that are similar to that. I just haven't seen them yet. but I'm sure they're all over the place. And I might even see them today because I've only been here for 4 days. But so far, everyone seems extremely friendly. I get along with everybody with the Canadian accent, eh? How you doing, eh? I'm a Canadian. Right away, breaks the ice. People, I love people, so hanging out with people, talking to them, and we do have a few people watching, but I've been carrying. This is I say, how you doing, eh? This is the American money, eh? So I'll show you this. So look at this. This is Canadian. The Canadian dollars, eh? Here in Canada, we got the $20 bill, eh? And for me, this feels like money. So the American money, of course, I never really handled American money before in my life. It's been 20 years from the United States. So this is a $5 bill. This feels like it's like someone could just photocopy this. It doesn't seem real to me. So I'm still getting used to the American dollar. And that's weird because the Americans say that this feels like plastic and it's not real money. And I feel like this feels like paper and it's not real money. So it's been quite the experience. I love my family very much and I love the Americans very much. I'm praying for your country. Very concerned about what's the geopolitical divide in the United States. You know, the United States is in a lot of trouble. And but it's a beautiful country. It's really exciting for me. I met a Vietnam veteran and spent a long time just talking with him. And, you know, he was a really awesome guy. I met him at the gym. He was working out. He's a cool guy. He was born in the 1930s or something, but that's it. America has the ugliest paper money I've seen. I agree, Jen. It seems like if somebody could just photocopy it. It's like, what is this all about? Just like paper. All right. Like the video. Thank you, J-Lo. All right, I gotta go. I am off to a homeless shelter in Oregon. They just. Okay, so in Oregon, I was unaware. Thank you, Little House Blues. Like I said, I've only been here for a few days. I haven't even been here a week yet. But my experience is you can't even compare what I deal with in my streets to what I've seen so far. But I'm sure there's bad places. And Little House says in Oregon, they decriminalized drugs a couple of years ago, and it's been a disaster. So yeah, I'm aware. I've seen the YouTube videos. The loony, eh? Don't go to LA. Actually, I have friends. I have a friend in California that is asking me to come and visit. So I haven't decided yet, but it's like 9-hour drive all the way to California. Is it San Francisco? San Francisco, is that California? I think it's San Francisco. So I haven't decided where I'm headed next, but this is a working vacation with my family. My mom's having an operation, and so you can see I haven't been doing very many lives. I don't know when I'll go live again because I'm working every day. So if something comes up, I'll try to do a live. Oh, okay, Anthony. So Anthony, you must be from. No, it's not the Catholic. There's another one. Let's do it. What is it called? I think it's called Outward Bound. There's apparently 3 different facilities in Colorado, in Grand Junction. So I'm headed to one of them. And when I was talking to the Vietnam vet 2 days ago, he was talking about there's a Catholic charity as well. So I'm not going to the Catholic charity. I'm going to, what I understand, it's not religious, but there's a lot of Christians involved. And it's supported by the municipality. Good morning, Gary. God bless you, my friend. Good morning, Lisa. Great to see you. God bless you. Thank you very much, Jen. If you're staying in Grand Junction, come meet me at the homeless shelter. Anthony, I'm going to the homeless shelter today. In fact, I have to go. So I'm going downtown. What I understand, there's 3. I was at the homeless shelter for the last 2 nights. Today I'm going down to a day resource room, which is more in the city. So I gotta go. Thanks for the show. Thank you to my friends who are watching. Tengo un día, bendiciones. Dios te bendiga, amigo. Tengo muchas ganas para ir a Mexico también, mi amigo. I want to go to Mexico. This is my friend from Mexico. Dios te bendiga. That means God bless you in Spanish. Hermano abrazos. That means my brother and a hug. And Fe dijo, tengo muchas ganas para ir a México también. Me extraño los tacos de la calle. I miss the street tacos. And I've actually been thinking, because it's only like, I think it's only like 10 or 12 hours to drive into Mexico. But full disclosure, I don't have a strong desire to go to Ciudad de Juarez personally, unless I went with a team, just because of the dangers of Ciudad Juarez. It's not my, it was street ministry outreach. I always pray about things, and I have no peace about going there right now. But I did do street evangelism with the street gangs in Mexico, but I always went with permission with the delegación, the police. Plus, I always went with people that were seasoned veterans when we were dealing with the street gangs. So I don't just go into like, oh, I'm Canadian, eh? So you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. So I'm trying to be as wise as I can while I'm a visitor here in the country. So I won't be going to Ciudad Juárez, pero tengo mucho ganas para ir a México un día más otra vez. And the cartel, and but Dios te bendiga. God bless you, my friend. Okay, so yeah, I believe that's where I'm going today. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's where I'm going today. One of the day centers. Apparently it's a big day center. Connie, these people are not even part of the body of Christ, even the ones like this man who quit Morningstar in the video you shared. He is deceiving. Absolutely. Yes, Connie, I didn't do too much commentary on him. In fact, I didn't look him up. I was thinking about looking it up, possibly a future video. There was many things that what you're referring to, Connie. I agree with you. There was many things that he said that I thought, who is this guy? Because, he's involved with Morningstar for. Let me look that up, and then right here. So this is what she's referring. If you don't know what the comment she's referring to, she's referring to. Oh, and by the way, I should mention too the coffee. So what Connie is mentioning is this guy, Justin Perry. I don't know much about him, but he was with Morningstar for 20 years. It's possible that he's claiming he's flown to heaven. I don't know. I don't know how many times he has flown to heaven. I don't know if he's claiming he's flown to heaven. But inside of Morningstar, the Bob Jones followers, the Great Wealth Transfer, Dominion Theology, the hyper extremes. So I don't know. That potentially, who knows, Connie? I should look into his and listen to some of his stuff. I don't know. Lord willing, we'll see what happens. But my last commentary of the America land. John, God bless you, Joanne. I was ministering that's for my United States Union Gospel Mission as UGM in Winnipeg, MB, for a couple of years. It was the most intense thing I agree with you, Joan. Yeah, I can hear you, but I believe the gospel and the power of God of salvation, that's what I'm saying, is that the intensity of absolute crisis, like ambulances, police, people carrying humongous machetes and these things, and like gang violent street crime. I just went out of Victoria where there's a band of guys. We're on the street because I've been traveling for the last week. We're on the street. There was a bunch of young thugs with baseball bats robbing people in Victoria. It's a city, one of the big cities on the island. So as soon as I heard that, I went straight down there because I know everybody down there to find them. I was going to do outreach with them. And that's what I do. But I have a spiritual authority as well as I have a lot of street credit because I do memorials and funerals and I know everybody. So I went looking for those guys. I couldn't find them. Anyways, but the intensity of the street warfare that I see, because we're a port city, so the drugs come into Canada through the ports, and then we're also a border city, so all the drugs flow into Canada. So we have hardcore gangs and criminal organizations where I come from. So here in Colorado, what my exposure so far has been nothing but there's like a less intense. So we'll find out today. Okay, and my last comment is this. There's a place called Marshall's, the coffee. I love the coffee in the United States. They have these little machines. I should have took a picture. It's a machine and the machine has the coffee beans above the machine. This is in Americaland, in the United States. It's called Marshalls and Loves. And you hit the button, and it actually grinds the coffee, and it pours. That's what I did this morning. I went to a place called Loves, and I got freshly ground coffee. So I have to give a 10 out of 10. Well, 10 out of 10 for the coffee. I did go, don't tell anybody, I went to a Starbucks. It cost me like $5. It's the last time I'll ever go to Starbucks in the United States. And the coffee was terrible. But the Marshalls and the Lowe's, this cost me $1.89. $1.89 for some of the best coffee I've ever drunk in my life. I am absolutely head over heels for the coffee in the United States. Not only that, you can go from coffee shop to coffee shop. Because I've been driving. I've driven over 1,000 miles. So I've been filling up on coffee. And I love it. I'm beside myself with the quality of the coffee. So that's my biggest takeaway from my trip to the United States. Is it just really is, it is that good. In Canada, usually all our gas stations just drip coffee. Even when you go to a coffee shop like Tim Hortons, this is a Tim Hortons coffee, it's all drip. You have to go to a specialty cafe for you to have freshly ground coffee, and it's always really expensive. So this for $1.85, it's very good. And that's it. That's my last comment. No coffee, no work wakey. It's that simple. Blessings, stay strong. All right. Thank you, Brother John. Holding these crooks accountable. Absolutely. And Joan Wakefield, thanks for everyone who showed up. I'll do another live stream if you haven't subscribed. And the beautiful coffee in America land. Thank you for my friends who are praying for me because I'm a little out of my element. But my mom, we are partnering with people today, and I love it. But I am a little out of my element because I'm going into new zones. So it's different for me. When I do my street outreach 6 days a week, I know everybody, and people are excited to see me. So there's always a process of meeting somebody new, and I don't know any of the gangs out here. So I'm just being very wise right now, and my ministry is always about 80 to 90% listening. So that's what I'm doing right now, and that's what I'll be doing today. But I am serving food today and do a lot of listening. And when the opportunity is to always share my faith, the life-changing power of the Lord Jesus Christ, praying for people for healings, translating for people that don't speak English, and who knows where the Lord will bring me in my trip to the United States, and who knows, I might be in a town near you if you're watching from the United States, and that's it. So may the Lord bless you, keep you strong in the faith, and remember, Brother John loves you.